Last week, I made a video about the next stimulus package, which is the second stimulus package, and it's called the HEROES Act. This bill was voted on by the House of Representatives. It passed and they sent it to the Senate. But there was a lot of news reports saying that the Senate Majority Leader was saying this is dead on arrival. He doesn't like a lot of the additional items in there and that this is not going to get passed. So people took that to mean that there's not going to be a second stimulus check. But that's not true. In fact, this is all negotiation tactics used by both sides. So if you remember in the first stimulus package, the Senate sent it to the House of Representatives. Originally, it was supposed to be $1,000 for people that made a certain amount of income. They needed to be a minimum income and a maximum income. But when they sent it to the House of Representatives, they actually revised it and they made sure that there was no minimum income requirement. So people that didn't make any money or that made little money or that paid little taxes could still qualify for that first $1,200 check. And the same thing is going to happen with this. It's going to get sent to the Senate. The Senate is not going to agree to this HEROES Act. They're going to revise it, and then they're going to come out with a plan that both the Republicans and the Democrats from the Senate and the House of Representatives agree on, and then we're going to have a final stimulus package. So in this video, I'll answer the question, is there really going to be a second stimulus check? And if so, when is it happening? What is it going to look like? So when asked about a second stimulus check on Thursday, this is what Trump had to say. He said that, I think there will be a second payment to help Americans move on. We'll give them money towards the end of the outbreak. Right now, we're focusing on reopening the country. And a lot of people were saying that there's not going to be another round of stimulus checks, like I said earlier, because of Mitch McConnell, which is the Senate Majority Leader. And this is what he had to say on the next stimulus package. He said, I think there's a high likelihood that we'll have another rescue package. We're not quite ready to intelligently lay down the next step, but it's not too far off. He continues on saying, the CARES Act, which passed a month or so ago on bipartisan basis, only about half of that money has gone out yet. So this is along the same lines as what he said last week and the week previously, which is he wants to wait to see how the first stimulus package does before he even discusses a next stimulus package. So right now, the Senate is not even worried about discussing the next stimulus package, the next stimulus check. And the reasoning for that is, like I said earlier, they want to understand the impact of the first stimulus package on the economy so that they can understand where they should send their money to. So the first stimulus package had multiple levels, and a lot of people know it as stimulus check, but it's the CARES Act, which was actually a $2.3 trillion stimulus package, and it included $600 billion for individuals, and that came in a form of stimulus checks and also unemployment benefits. And then we also had $500 billion to large corporations such as airlines, and this was basically a bailout for these large corporations. And then we also had $300 billion that went to small businesses. So you can see that the stimulus checks were just a small portion of a larger stimulus package. And the only reason they decided to give Americans $1,200 as a one-time payment is because they understood that people were behind on payments and they need to spend money. And if people are not spending money, the economy is not going to do that well. So that's why they sent the first round of $1,200 and why they boosted unemployment benefits to include $600 per week as an additional benefit. But all of that is going to run out really soon. And the biggest push right now is to reopen the US and to get everybody back to work. And they're not doing that because they're worried about people being hungry. They're worried about people paying their mortgage. It's more because they're worried about the economy and the long-term impacts that it'll have. So the best way to help the economy recover is to get everybody back to work and to make the country basically go back to normal. But they realize that that's not going to be feasible in a short amount of time. You can't reopen the US as fast as you close it down because we still have the virus to deal with. So in order to get around all of that, they are going to come out with the next stimulus package, and it's going to include several things. One is going to include liability protection for businesses. So this is going to basically help big businesses and small businesses reopen as fast as possible without having to worry about lawsuits. This is something that we saw both Trump and the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell discuss more than one occasion. And this is basically the whole reason the Senate doesn't like that HEROES Act, because it doesn't have any liability protections for businesses that open up early. So keep in mind that there are protections for businesses right now that operate in a safe manner. But this new proposed protection for businesses will basically allow businesses to reopen early and with no safety in place and still not get sued. So if you're an employee and you come to work and you get the virus because your employer didn't provide you enough protection, or they just simply weren't prepared to open, you can't sue them because of this new liability protection that the Senate and Trump want to have in place. Another part of the HEROES Act that both Trump and the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell don't like is the extended unemployment benefit. If you guys remember, in the HEROES Act, it's proposed that they're going to extend unemployment benefits of $600 per week until January of 2021. Both Trump and the Senate Majority Leader are saying that if unemployment benefits gets extended until January, people are not going to want to return back to work. So in order to prevent that, they're going to do something in the next stimulus package to end the unemployment benefits early. They're not going to want to extend it. And the whole reason is to get you back to work. So if you have no unemployment benefits, you either work or you starve. So that's a good way to get people back to work and to help the economy recover. But with all that being said, people are still behind on their mortgages. They're still behind on payments because they've been at home unable to earn their regular income. So once the country reopens and once everybody goes back to work, they will still need to do some sort of stimulus check because all of that takes time. People are not going to want to go shopping. They're not going to want to go to the movie theaters. They're not going to want to go back to the regular activities as fast as the government would like. So in order to help employees and to help businesses, they will need to do a second round of stimulus package, and they're going to need to do a second round of stimulus checks. And that's it for this video, guys. If you guys found this video helpful, it would really help out this channel if you hit that like button. And if you want to subscribe, this channel is all about personal finance and helping you have a better financial future. So if that sounds interesting to you, you can subscribe right here. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you again next week.